Feliz Cinco de Mayo. Happy Cinco de Mayo. Today is our bilingual episode de la música. ¿Qué tan importante para la música? It's so important, but why music? ¿Por qué música? Why is music important in our lives? We know how it changes our physiology. We know about our brain chemistry. We know that it reduces cortisol and that having something to focus on that feels like we are growing, that we are facing ourselves, our deepest part of ourselves, our corazón, our alma. Our soul and our heart are connected, but that is a little nebulous. The research now isn't nebulous. The research is very claro. The research is clear. Music affects us in ways nothing else can. And music is a language like no other. Not just Espanol, not just English, Italian, French, German. Music is a language that we can come together globally, culturally, for any reason or for no reason at all, and have a moment, connect with our hearts, connect through the language that is both unspoken and that speaks a million truths in only an instant. If we haven't met yet, I'm EP Archer, and I help adults improve their quality of life by playing an instrument. And if you think about music as a language, if you've always wondered why you are drawn to music, or if music is your jam, or you know someone else who it is their heart and soul, this episode's for you. I want to just take an off-the-collar few minutes together to appreciate the different levels and layers of how and who we are through music. We all have identities and roles and masks that we wear and things that we put on to go out into the world. One of the things I love is astrology, and it talks about your sun sign and your moon sign and your rising. And to me, that's just another language, just like energy medicine is another language. And these are ways that we are able to talk to ourselves, able to regulate our nervous system. They're ways that we are able to understand who we are and how we function in the world. And I think a lot of times we maybe don't give music that same credit. You know, when I go into a counseling session, I work with a therapist or a social worker, I know I'm there to unearth and to look at and to be more integrated as a human in myself. But I don't necessarily pick up my violin and say, and now I will be more integrated in my life. Like, right? You don't pick up your guitarra or your violin and you don't say that to yourself. You would pick it up and you have a feeling or a desire. And maybe that feeling or desire is something totally negative. Maybe something really hard is happening for you, ongoing, or maybe something happened that was really hard today. But you pick up your instrument and something shifts. Something changes. We're able to be more of ourselves and be integrated. And it's not the same way we would in a therapy session, but I bet if you have ever been to therapy, you've been recommended to do things that allow you to find who you are and to express and to release, and things that are just your own, that develop that inner sense of knowing, that authenticity. So maybe we grow up and we hear music that our parents love, or our family unit or people that we are close to, we hear their music, and we hear music on the radio and we hear it wherever we go. And maybe we play an instrument. But at what point did music become yours? You know, is the retro like rock that you listen to yours, or is it someone else's? Is the violin your language, or is it a language that someone decided you would adapt and learn and play a certain way? And if it is yours, are you able to fully express and connect to yourself? If we go back to the astrology metaphor, I think of my sun as the identity. It's like literally who I am no matter what. It should be. It can be. It's our potential to be all of that within ourselves, right? And I think of your sun as your main musical language, not your instrument, not the band you're in, not the sheet music you're reading, but how you feel when you connect to music, who you are when you connect to music. What archetype are you? Are you sensitive and feeling and releasing? Are you a performer? Are you someone that is of service to the world, raising vibration? Are you someone that is regulating and calming and of service to yourself? What is your musical identity? We don't talk about it all the time in these esoteric terms, but what if we did? What if there was a way to connect who you are and how you are and what you're able to do, integrate, express, and grow towards with that musical identity? What could that feel like? Not an intellectual activity or a pulling all the strands of spaghetti out of your broken life and lining them up, but an opportunity to explore and express and to feel and to know without a traditional, CBT workbook or an inner child exploration. Music is amazing for that too, of course. What if you were able to be who you are because you decided that music was going to be a part of your life in a bigger way than just listening? And when you listen, how you feel kind of connotates how much you maybe have thought about music or how much you desire music. And I'm speaking to people that music is a part of your life and to people that have always thought about it. And maybe you've had some debilitating thoughts about it. Maybe you've thought, I'm not talented. I never was good with music. There's no way I could play a violin or an instrument, maybe guitar. Maybe I could. No, I can't sing. I can't carry a tune. These are the kind of conversations I have with adults that don't have music as a study, as a part of their life, as a hobby that is an outlet for them, a way that they can release, a way that they can connect. And so that relates to your deeper inner persona, right? And some of us have limiting beliefs based on the repetitive thoughts we've had our whole life. And sometimes those thoughts are not even our own. So if you've been thinking, I'm not talented enough, I could never do that, I want to crush that limiting belief for you right now. I want to plant a seed. Yes, you can. You can absolutely do music. It doesn't require talent or being born with a special set of DNA. It doesn't require that you are studying with someone famous or that you have this gift of sparkly light bestowed on you, la luz del Dios, all around you. It doesn't require any of that. And so many of us grew up or were taught or were told something that isn't true. And I want to break that apart for you. If music speaks to you, if you feel it, that's your emotional side, that's your moon. And depending on your musical emotional identity, how deeply and intensely it feels, that draw is stronger. And for me, it was strong at 18 months old, and at 4 years old when I joined my first choir, and at 7 when I started playing my first instrument, and when I wrote poetry and music and composed and had to play piano, and all the things got added on, and it never went away because for me, music heals. Music is the one factor that connects every aspect of my life. And it doesn't have to be everything for you to be something that is life-changing and meaningful. When you think about your rising in astrology, that's how you go out into the world, right? It's the role we have to play. It's how we are at work, and it's how we are when we meet somebody new, and it's how we show up, and whether we're late or tardy or whether we're always on time, and the standard we hold ourselves up to when we are in connection with other humans. And can you imagine that musical rising within you? Sometimes in life, our rising is what gets us through the hard times, what allows us to show up when we don't feel like we're good enough or we can. But with music, your rising can keep you from connecting what you think other people expect, or what role or what identity. What if you don't identify as a musician? Well, I'm not a violinist. I do play the violin. What's the difference? I'm not a musician, but I play guitar sometimes, or I like to sing along with my favorite old jazz standards. So this identity creates a conflict, right, within us, in our rising, in the way that we meet the world. And I'm here to tell you today that you get to meet the world through music. If you can walk into a pawn store or thrift shop and pick up an old dilapidated instrument and pluck that string and a note comes out, that is enough. If you've bought an instrument, if you've tried lessons, if you've been diving down the YouTube rabbit hole and you can play one note, that is enough, because this is about you and your integration and knowing yourself and your identity, not about something that is a prescribed expectation. Your identity, your heart and soul, your integration, your growth can all be activated, supported, and made consistent, allowed to bloom when music is a part of your life in a little bit more active way. And if it's already a part of your life in an active way and it's become negative or frustrating, or if you've plateaued or you're stuck, there is a solution. Action and resonance and feeling and a different frame for you and your musical journey. I can't wait to hear what it is. Please reach out. I'd love to hear from you. And if you're an adult and you're over 30 and you're playing the violin and you want to get better tone and feel confident in the way you play, we have a super special offering. Free group for you to learn about our method, Somatic Resonance for Violin, where you can finally unlock violin for yourself, not by yourself, but in a group of committed adults. Join us with the link. I can't wait to see you there. Your best music is on the other side.